I've been playing Shotgun Farmers for over a year now, and over the course of the game, there have been so many changes. It got me really interested in how the game was first created and how it was shaped into the game today. I know I'm late to the big Iceberg trend, but all those videos I watched are so entertaining. For those who don't know what an iceberg is, I'll explain it briefly. An iceberg is a metaphor for a facts tier list, with all the top of the iceberg being the most well-known facts that everyone knows, while the bottom represents the most unknown and most obscure facts. I decided to make an iceberg for Shotgun Farmers. In this iceberg, I'll go over facts such as the basics, unused content, the early versions of the game, and so much more. It took me a while to make this, and I needed some help personally from the developers. I wanted to thank Quasi TV and Zacton for helping me put this iceberg together and help me put the pieces together. That being said though, let's take a look at the Shotgun Farmers iceberg and see how deep it will go. This video may be long, so do sit tight. Missed shots grow guns. This is the main premise of Shotgun Farmers that makes the game different from other first-person shooters. Since your guns are made of plants, you can shoot the ground and the bullets will grow into a new gun. It was honestly such a cool idea, and it actually contrasts from games where you need to reload your gun. Crop drops. This is just a care package that spawns randomly in the game. When you open the crop drop, it's usually extra weapons and extra grenades players can use. It's just an opportunity for players to get new guns during a match. Bok Bok. Bok Bok was the name given to the chickens in the game. Bok Boks are usually in the background of the game, but there are some game modes where the chickens are directly involved, such as Chicken Run. Horde mode. This is the zombies mode in the game. Players can team up to stop waves of enemies and take out the final boss at the end. As of now, there are 3 maps planned, with the final bosses getting redesigned. We currently can play on Dark Side, Grave Side, and soon Forest Side. Quasi TV. He is the head game developer for Shotgun Farmers. He is the one responsible for coding the game and working with most of the 3D models. The past 6 years, he's been updating this game for free, and I honestly admire him for his work. Crop Duster. This is also just like the Crop Drop, where it randomly spawns in the game. Unlike Crop Drop, it sprinkles weapons across the map via a plane to give people new weapons. Shovels. Shovels are the main way to melee someone in the game. You can also run the fastest with a shovel equipped. It takes 2 hits to kill someone in the front, while you can also 1-hit assassinate someone from behind. There is also a variety of shovel skins you can choose from. Outfit customization. Shotgun Farmers is all about customizing your farmer. There is a large selection of outfits to unlock, with the developers adding more on the way. When you first start the game, your outfit is blue, but when you can slowly unlock other outfits by either playing the game or just buying outfits from the item shop. Bok Bucks. Bok Bucks are the currency in Shotgun Farmers. You can earn Bok Bucks by playing matches in the game or completing daily challenges. There's no way to pay with real money to get Bok Bucks, so the only way to get them is to play the game. You can spend your Bok Bucks to buy things in the item shop. Item shop. The item shop is the in-game shop where you can buy extra outfits, gestures, music, titles, profile pictures, and hats with Bok Bucks. The item shop came out recently, so it's implied that we're gonna go see a lot of cool content in the future. Fan tournaments. Hardcore fans of Shotgun Farmers would create unofficial tournaments for people to compete in. Usually, the top 3 winners will be awarded a cash prize to motivate people to compete. People who would really be good at the game would be the people to partake in the 1v1 or the 2v2 tournaments. They are very entertaining to watch too, and it gets to the point where even the dev team gets involved. I actually got to host one of the tournaments called Moo Moo Cup. I assume the devs used to be directly involved with making the tournament, since Quasi did make hats for winners for the previous tournaments. Nowadays, I guess it's up to the fans to keep the competitive spirit alive. Pets. Pets are little animals that would follow you around in the game. They are supposed to be coming out during the 2022 Halloween update with the Forest Side Horde mode. They don't really do anything to help you in the game. They just follow you around and they're cute to look at. I guess that's similar to what Among Us has done in their game. Farmer Announcer. This is the only voice you hear in the game. You can hear him in the title screen, the tutorial, and discuss what's happening in the matches. It's like an old farmer version of the Halo announcer. The farmer announcer is voiced by Xplodin.
Shotgun farmer. Hey, girl, now that's what I call farming. Double kill. Triple kill. Rock drop incoming. Victory!
Ghost Peppers. It's a power-up that makes you invisible temporarily. You can use this to your advantage since people will have a hard time seeing you. You can kinda see an outline of the Invisible Man, so it's not completely overpowered. Moo Shields. It's another power-up in the game that gives you armor. They show up in half-gallon cartons and full gallons. This power-up entirely is a reference to milk. Firing range. A part of practice mode where you can practice shooting with all the weapons, learn all the power-ups, or just hunt for golden eggs. Yeah, for those who don't know, there are 9 golden eggs hiding all over the map, and if you find them all, you get an egg head. Can you find them all? If you can't, you can just look at my video. Limited time modes. These are modes in the game that will just show up and change every week. It's something similar to the Mystery Portal events in Plants vs. Zombies. Some of the modes are actually really cool, and it's a great way for players to look forward to seeing something new in the game. Grenades. These are explosives you can use to kill other players. As of now, there are 4 grenades. A pineapple nade that works just like a frag grenade, a lemonade that blinds someone temporarily, an onion nade that works as a tear gas grenade, and a molotov that works as a molotov. Some grenades are more rare than others, it just depends on which map you play on. Gnomes. Gnomes are collectible items that will spawn randomly in the game. It would hide in a specific spot in each match, and players would have to find it and claim it. You can collect gnomes in each match of the game. They don't really do much except give you 100 XP, and if you collect enough of them, you can unlock the gnome outfit and the gnome shovel. On Xbox and PlayStation, you can unlock an achievement for finding and collecting 100 gnomes, so good luck finding them if you're still looking. Codes. A lot of different content creators have codes to unlock their custom heads in the game. The most recent code we have is Mark It Up, where you can have a free shovel. If you just bought the game, chances are you don't really need these codes, as the items are automatically unlocked for you. This is just for people who have an older copy of the game. If you are looking for these codes, you can pretty much find them online. Vanoss Gaming. A popular YouTuber with over 25 million subscribers who played Shotgun Farmers with his friends, including H2O Delirious, Nogla, Terrorizer, and much more. They have made many videos back when the game was in early access, and it drove a lot of fans to buy the game. Their YouTube heads can be still found in the customization. Daily Challenges. Daily Challenges are challenges that rotate once a day. If you completed 3 daily challenges, you would be awarded with XP, but now you get rewarded in Bok. Sometimes the daily challenges glitch out and they won't rotate, so hopefully Quasi will fix this soon. Discord. Did you know that Shotgun Farmers has a Discord server? Many people are on the server and you can talk about the game, ask questions about the game, or provide feedback to the developers. It's a nice community and you'll definitely see me there every now and then. Cross-platform. Despite Shotgun Farmers being a small game, it does have crossplay. You can play with anyone who has a PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch. You also have the option to turn it off if you want to, but you won't find as many players. Markiplier. Markiplier is another popular YouTuber with over 33 million subscribers who played Shotgun Farmers back when it was in its early access mode. It's kind of a shame that he only made one video of this game. I could imagine what Mark would think if he visits the game today, since so much has changed. I would love to see him play Horde mode with Bob and Wade. Training tutorial. So Shotgun Farmers now has a training mode where you can learn the basics of the game. It's just a simple tutorial. If you already know how to play the game, you don't have to do this. It's like a 2-minute long tutorial, so it's pretty short. Roadside cars. These are definitely the worst environment hazards in the game. You can only get hurt by them if you try to cross the street. If a car hits you, you instantly die. I get hit by these cars pretty often and find them difficult to dodge. The only way to dodge them is to know where they're coming from. You can zigzag to different sides of the road since cars show up in a pattern. It gets even more difficult when objectives or crop drops require you to fight in the middle of the streets. so you actually risk yourself getting hit by a car while shooting other people. These devs knew what they were doing. Tractor honk. When you come across a tractor in the game, you can honk the horn. That's pretty much it. It doesn't do anything except give you an achievement. It's more of an Easter egg than anything. Console exclusive skins. Whichever version of Shotgun Farmers you are playing on, you always have access to a console exclusive skin. With PC you get a white vest, with Xbox you get a green robot, with PlayStation you get a ninja, and with the Switch you get the Neon Demon. In my opinion, the Neon Demon is the best looking, so that's why I bought a copy of it on my Switch. Horse stats. These horses aren't in the game for nothing. If you attack a horse, there is a chance the horse will kick you and kill you instantly. It's another way to get an indirect kill off someone, but it's so funny on how sometimes this will happen. Be careful, because someone will also do the same thing to you if you're too close to the horse. Quasi TikToks. So Quasi has a TikTok page where he shares updates on the game. It's mostly behind the scenes work on how he codes the game. He also announces new content he plans on adding to the game. He has over 1 million followers and he honestly earned it. Event tokens. So during a holiday event, there is a limited time to get holiday cosmetics. Tokens would be used as a currency to unlock a new holiday item. Unlike BlockBucks, you don't need to spend tokens to get these items. You just automatically unlock them when you get enough of them. Gun skins. Just like the outfits, hats, and shovels, you have the option to change the skin of your normal shotgun. Lots of skins come from the item shop or from the holiday events. There are also gun skins you can earn by prestiging in the game. Personally, I think the diamond shotgun looks the best. Sean Hicks. He's one of the art directors behind Shotgun Farmers. He created concept art such as the werewolf redesign, the Christmas art, some profile badges, and 3D models such as the ghost shovel. He isn't involved with the game too often, however he does make really cool art on his social media pages, so I recommend you give him a follow. Gun recoil jump. When you jump and shoot the ground at the same time with the shotgun, double cob, rocket launcher, and the beat action rifle, you can launch yourself in midair. You can use this to boost your jumps in the game and make you go up higher. Some competitive players use this recoil jump to their advantage, such as getting to a higher ground or hopping fences. It's a cool feature in the game and I'm ashamed I don't use this often. Move or die crossover. So not too long ago, Shotgun Farmers had a crossover with another indie game called Move or Die. Move or Die is a platformer game to compete with other players to stay alive for as long as you can. If you are the last person standing, you win the match. Shotgun Farmers added a blue guy named Joe and his block weapon in the item shop as a reference. In Move or Die, there are a few outfits in the game referencing Shotgun Farmers, like a cow, a pig, and a farmer they named Frank. I still want to try out Move or Die to get more information on what this game is about. I'm pretty sure there are many videos online of people playing the game. Gold eggs. Gold eggs can be found in the Sunnyside map where you are at the firing range. Some of the egg locations are hidden, such as a log, a tree, and honking the tractor horn. Some were actually pretty hard to find, but when you do find them all, you get an egg hat. If you have trouble finding these eggs, there is a walkthrough on where there are, such as mine, snow and maps. During Christmas and briefly during the first weeks in January, there are some maps in the game that are covered with snow. It's kind of a really nice detail the developers added to the maps for Christmas. The only maps I know that definitely don't have snow are Westside and Oceanside, which makes sense. Creative mode. This is an upcoming feature that will be added to Shotgun Farmers. I guess it would be more like making your own map into Shotgun Farmers, and you can make it however you'd like. However, there will be some restrictions if the map is not appropriate to share with others. I do like this idea because people could potentially make their own maps in Shotgun Farmers. It's unknown how you would be able to do it, but right now it seems like Quasi is still trying to figure out how it would work. Maybe we'll hear about it in the future. Bombkins. These are pumpkins that explode if you attack it. They are only found in Graveside, which are the main hazards in the map. But yeah, you can use this to blow up other players. Be careful though, because you can also kill your own teammates too. There's an achievement to blow up 5 farmers with the bombkins in a match. I don't know for sure if teammates count though, so I suggest trying this achievement in a bot lobby. Anti-gravity zipline. In Forest Side, there is a zipline and you can ride the zipline down from the main cabin area. However, in a later patch, Quasi added a feature where you can ride the zipline backwards and travel upwards. This was added because it would just be more convenient for the players. Yeah, gravity isn't really involved here anymore, but I wouldn't think of this logically. You're playing a game where farmers have vegetable weapons, so just turn your brain off for this one. GMOs. Genetically modified options, or GMOs for short, are extra features you can add to your custom lobby. You can have super speed, moon gravity, spawn with random weapons, big heads, and so much more. It's just crazy little things you can add to the game to make the game more challenging, I guess. Radios. In Sunnyside, Darkside, and Forestside, there are radios that will play music in the game. These radios only play 5 tracks. However, it's a nice feature to have in the game. Quasi did want to add in-game music so the matches don't have to be silent. The radios is a good idea that will give us a sneak peek on what will come later in the game. You can even use the radio in Horde mode to make zombie mode a funnier experience instead of a scary one. Graveside Church Bell. In Graveside, there is a bell on top of the church. If you shoot or hit it with your shovel, you can ring the bell for everyone in the map to hear. You can hit this bell as many times as you want, so you can just use this bell to annoy other people. Masks. Recently, Shotgun Farmers added masks to the item shop that references parts of the game, such as the Bombkin mask. TP was the main guy to come up with these ideas, so yeah, shout out to him, he makes good art. Healing weapons. Not too many people know this, but some weapons can actually heal you and your teammates. The only weapons that can do this are the Strawberry, P-Volver, and the M6 Bean. This feature is also pretty important for Horde mode in case your teammates are downed and need a revive. Shooting them with these weapons revive them instantly. Skyhook. Skyhook was Quasi's first video game he has ever made. It's a fighting game where everyone uses grappling hooks to move and attack. Unfortunately, this game didn't do as well as Shotgun Farmers, which is a shame. In Shotgun Farmers, there are many references to Skyhook, such as the bot names, the profile pictures, and the other small details to maps. On Steam, if you buy Skyhook, you unlock the title of Sky Captain in Shotgun Farmers. Double Cob spawns. Interestingly enough, the Double Cob is the only weapon in the game that doesn't have a spawn animation. They are only found in crop drops and crop dusters, so that they are a delicacy. You don't have to worry about running out of ammo because the Double Cob can use a normal shotgun plant for more ammunition. I just find it odd that every weapon has a spawn animation, but not the Double Cob. Zombear. A small YouTuber / Twitch streamer that made Shotgun Farmers in his main type of content. He has his own head in the game if you punch the code Zombear. He hasn't been active too much with Shotgun Farmer streams, but he does check on the game from time to time. Finn's. It's a restaurant that takes place in Oceanside. Not too much can be really said about this place except it's where the Half Shield spawns, and the restaurant is a reference to the Skyhook character Finn, who is a buff shark. Shotgun Farmers VR. It's an upcoming virtual reality game that I assume it will come out to the Oculus. Quasi first teased this on April Fool's Day, so we all thought this was a joke, but no, this is actually a real thing. People have speculated that Phantom Potato is the main guy behind the project, while Quasi works on updating the regular Shotgun Farmers. We don't know for sure what will be in this game except for playing Horde mode in VR. Snowmen. Not much can be said about snowmen. You can play as them in a game mode called Hide and Freeze, and that's about it. They are one of the only characters to use snowballs as a weapon. There is also a snowman that shows up in Northside. He just frowns though. Legacy skins. Legacy skins are older versions of the newer skins we have today. There was an older model of the original werewolf design you can still unlock in the game, but sadly skins like Santa Claus or Snowman are no longer unlockable. It's still possible that they could come back next year, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. Northside Piano. There is a piano in the house in Northside. You can play music on the piano. It sounds nice. The only reason why I put this on the Iceberg is not too many people know it's here. Popcorn Shotgun. This is also another small detail that I really love. If your farmer is on fire, your shotgun or double cob will turn into popcorn. The same thing will happen if you light a shotgun plant on fire. Cake slices. During the anniversary events, there are cake slices that will spawn in matches in random locations. This is just like the gnomes, but unlike the gnomes, you actually have to attack the cake slices for extra points. Ghost Bok Bok Grave. This is another Easter egg. In Graveside, if you kill someone, light the podium and the candles in the church, a giant ghost chicken will come out and fly over to the big tombstone. This gives you the ghost of the Bok Bok hat. This one is difficult to do this Easter egg solo, so I recommend getting some friends to help you out. Underwater hit detection. Yeah, for some reason, if you've gone underwater and shoot another farmer underwater, you can just kill them just fine. If someone is in the air and shoots the guy underwater, apparently the surface of the water counts as cover. But the guy underwater can shoot the guy in the air just fine, so I'm not sure if this has anything to do with collision detection with the bullets, but I do know this does happen. Farmer in the outhouse. So in Westside and Forestside, there are outhouses. If you attack the outhouses, the farmer inside will yell at you to leave him alone. This farmer is most likely the farmer announcer taking a big dump. It's a funny Easter egg more than anything. File Clan. This is just a clan of pro Shotgun Farmers players that take part in a lot of competitive tournaments. Not much can be really said about them except they are pretty good at the game. Drowning on Land. Another small YouTuber / Twitch streamer who plays a lot of Shotgun Farmers. His content used to be so much Shotgun Farmers, and he's a really chill dude to hang out with. His head is also available in the game if you type Drowning on Land in the codes. He hasn't been that active recently because the hurricane wiped out his internet, and just now he got his internet back, so big ups to him. Shotgun Farmers montages. They are a series of videos of compilations of people getting cool kills in Shotgun Farmers. They are very similar to what Call of Duty sniper montages used to be back in the day. A lot of different users in the Discord would upload these montages, which is pretty cool. Most of the compilations are relatively short for, I'm not sure why. 110 FOV. This is the maximum field of vision you can have in a game as of now. The default is usually 60 or 90, but maxing it out really helps you see things a lot better. It feels weird at first after trying it out, but eventually it takes some time to get used to. Hardcore Parkour. This is a difficult achievement in the game, known by a lot of my friends for being really hated. To get this achievement, you have to jump on each and every single cone in the roadside map without falling off. Personally, it's hard to pull off with a shovel, but I found it much easier to use this with a normal shotgun since you won't move as fast. It really depends on your movement and your time, but a lot of people still find this achievement pretty tough. Werewolves. Werewolves are an enemy in Horde mode shown on all the maps. You can unlock the skin after getting to wave 45 in the Darkside Horde mode map. There used to be an older design that looked a lot more blocky, but Quasi later changed the 3D models to look a lot cleaner, and I really like this change. According to the concept arts by Sean Hicks, it was planned for the werewolf to have different colors, but I don't know for sure. It could be possible to see different colored werewolves in the future, which would be really interesting to see. Cream of the Crop. This is the highest rank you can get while going on a killing spree. You can get this after killing 10 people in a short amount of consistent time. It will go from single kill to double kill to triple kill to milking it to utterly ridiculous to extraordinary to gorgeous kill to badass, and finally cream of the crop. After that, the announcer just repeats cream of the crop over and over again. It's rare to hear these sound bites, so the only time you can get the cream of the crop in the game is probably a free-for-all match and just have the lobby up to 10 farmers. Shooting grenades. Another one of the cool details in Shotgun Farmers, you can shoot grenades in the air. It's a trick that not too many people use. Maybe if you somehow knew your enemy is directly below the grenade, you can just throw it and shoot it without your opponent knowing what hit him. I don't know how this could be used to your advantage other than you just get really lucky or you're just somehow a god at aiming and timing. Peanut Butter Bucket. He is a small Twitch streamer who streams a lot of Shotgun Farmers more than any of us. Last I've heard from him, he has been doing 10-hour streams of the game, and I kind of admire the commitment. He has been trying to be the first Shotgun Farmers player in the world to reach 1 million Bok Bucks, so I respect the grind. Invisible Chicken Glitch. I discovered this glitch recently. Apparently in Chicken Run, if you grab a chicken and grab a ghost pepper and then drop the chicken, when you turn visible again and grab the chicken again, the chicken will be invisible but you won't. I think this is nothing more than just a visual glitch on your end because this doesn't really seem to break the game at all. If anything, it helps you see where you are going without having a giant chicken in your way. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a joke reference to Coca-Cola, a very carbonated beverage by a multi-billion-dollar company of the same name. In Oceanside, you can find cans of Coca-Cola along with other popular drink parodies inside this cooler. It's another small detail that added to the map, which makes it a whole lot better. AK-47 starting weapon. It's actually really rare to find a AK-47 weapon in the game at all. Most of the time they spawn in crop drops and crop dusters, but even there they are hard to find. However, you do have access to these weapons as a starting gun to the limited time mode Hay Fever, or the Graveside Horde mode, or even the Remove Juggernaut mode, or even turning on random weapons in a GMO. I don't know why it's so difficult to find the AK-47 in the main game. I guess Quasi couldn't fit all the weapons into the crop drop randomizer since there are so many now. Crops grow fastest at night. I think this is probably true since crops grow much faster in the dark side and Graveside than any other map. Especially when you plant crops in the dark side's dirt fields, they grow extremely fast. However, crops do grow really fast as well when planted underwater. So technically if Quasi makes a night map with a river or lake, you can just instantly grow a new plant. I really want to see that. Destroyed helicopter. This is a helicopter that is in the dark side map. It's on fire and honestly I don't know why it's here. I guess to make the map more hellish or apocalyptic. But yeah, if you try to jump on the helicopter or go near it, you will catch fire. It can also light the other zombies on fire too. TP. TP is an artist in the Shotgun Farmers Discord server. He was the one to come up with the idea of adding masks into Shotgun Farmers like the Bombkin mask. You can see him mostly on Twitter more often than you do see him on Discord. Tournament prizes. Back in the day, I would assume that there would be an official tournament held by the developer team to promote Shotgun Farmers and the winners would have a hat in the game. I assumed this was the case, but I don't know for sure. I didn't know the game existed back then. As of now, the only winners of the tournaments who are included in the game are SK and the Life Is Yours. Onionade bug. I definitely remember this being a bug back when the Onionade first came out. Apparently if you throw the Onionade at a player, it would end up blinding you too, since technically you were in the Onionade's hitbox and you would hurt yourself. It was a weird bug that Quasi eventually ended up fixing. Bach and Roll. This was a series of emotes in the game where you can just buy in the item shop. There was an electric guitar, drums, and a bass. If you play them all at the same time, they sound really good. When are we gonna have a Shotgun Farmers concert? Too Thick TV. A former Shotgun Farmers YouTuber that used to make really popular Shotgun Farmers content. Back in the day, he went by the name Minnesota TV and used the shtick of being the ninja of Shotgun Farmers. Nowadays, he just plays the game a lot less, and he's just been doing his own thing. Goofy World, a small YouTuber that makes Shotgun Farmers videos. Not much I can really say about him other than he does make videos uncovering every single Shotgun Farmers update. He also recreated the roadside map on Fortnite, so big ups to that. Shotgun Farmers Early Access. This was pretty much the beta version of Shotgun Farmers since the game wasn't available to the public yet at the time. There were different models of the farmers, the weapons, the maps, and the animals in the beta. There was also voice acting in the old version of the game, but we'll get to that in a bit. This was the version Markiplier and Vanoss had access to when making their videos in the game, so it's really interesting to see what Shotgun Farmers looked like back in the day. Hillside. This was an unreleased map in Shotgun Farmers. It was teased to be coming soon in the early beta, but it was never created. I don't believe a 3D map was ever made or even a concept art of the map. Only signs and screenshots of Hillside can be found. I'm not sure why this was cut. It's actually unknown what Hillside would have been. Maybe Quasi had better ideas for maps and Hillside was ultimately scrapped. Removed farmer voices. Back in the early access version, you can hear you or the other farmers have voices. Voices were just made for both male and female farmers, and they pretty much only made grunting noises when they jumped. Why this was removed was probably because Quasi didn't like the voice effects and just preferred the farmers to be silent.
Oh, get wrecked. Uh-oh.
King of the Barn. Before King the Crow, there was King of the Barn. King of the Barn probably would have just been normal domination, except you had to move to different spaces on the map and stay in a big circle. Why this was changed to a scarecrow point was probably because Quasi wanted all of his game modes to be farm themed, and a scarecrow was the perfect candidate. The scarecrow is also a good reason why the point keeps moving, as the scarecrow is alive and has a mind of its own. 20-minute time limit. This was the maximum time limit for matches in the earlier versions of the game. Why this was reduced to 10 minutes was probably because it was just making matches a lot faster, and to make the matches a lot more fast-paced when fighting other farmers. Juggernaut. This used to be a game mode where it was a free-for-all, except you had to kill the Juggernaut for points, and be the Juggernaut to keep increasing your score by killing other farmers. Why this mode was removed was probably because not a lot of people were playing it. I used to get empty lobbies of Juggernaut back in the day. I know Ben loved this mode. Old cow designs. Back in the early access version, cows used to look a lot different. This isn't even what the cows in the game look like, they look completely different. I definitely like the cow redesign we see today, as I think the newer design looks a lot better in my opinion. Beat Action Rifle Red Scope. Back when the Beat Action Rifle first came out, there was a thermal red scope to use to detect enemy teammates. It was like something like Metal Gear Solid did with their sniper rifles. It was kind of difficult to use in the beginning because the thermal scope detected all farmers, including your teammates. Now it was changed to our normal scope, but it still keeps the thermal system of seeing enemies through walls. This was a small change, but I do remember the rifle looked a lot different when it was first debuted. Snowball weapons. In Hide and Freeze and Snowball Fight, snowballs were weapons in the game. In Hide and Freeze, snowballs freeze people temporarily, while in Snowball Fight, they are instant death. Kind of interesting to see if snowballs will be used as a temporary seasonal weapon like we saw in the Snowball Fight. It would be cool if Quasi brings them back. Launch Week outfits. This is a special outfit that is probably the rarest in the game. This was an outfit that only developers would have access to, or people who bought the game on launch week. This is the only outfit that's so rare nobody has. The only people I know who legitimately own the launch week outfit are Zacton and Nico. I would also assume Quasi owns the outfit too, since, he made the game. Pistol. Before the P-Volver, there was the Pistol. The Pistol was just like the P-Volver, except it would have 12 rounds instead of 6. Why this was changed to 6 rounds was probably to nerf the ammo, since the P-Volver can headshot farmers with 1 bullet. So I'm pretty sure this was just not to make the gun way too powerful. Beats Motel and Countryside. So if you look way in the distance, you can actually see the Beats Motel sign, the same sign you see at roadside. In an earlier version of the map, it looks like the Beats Motel sign is a lot closer. I'm not so sure why this was so up close in this version, maybe it wasn't intentional. Either way, you can still use this sign on the map, and that confirms the countryside and roadside maps are close by to each other. Shotgun Farmer's Prototype. At the very beginning of the game's lifespan, Quasi spent 8 days working on a prototype for his upcoming game. The game was primitive, but it did have online multiplayer as well as gun spawns. There was only one small map at the time, and it was just simply called Farm. He later made another version of the prototype where you can also have the ability to adjust the score limit, which isn't in the game's version today. All the farmers looked like Minecraft characters too, which is kind of memeable. This is the only piece of Shotgun Farmers media where all the characters had limbs, surprisingly. Farmers versus Bandits. In the second version of the prototype, one team you can play as the farmers and the opposing team gets to play as the bandits. This was an idea that Quasi had that was later scrapped because it didn't make sense why bandits would want to steal from a farm. This was changed to farmers fighting each other because this was just a better idea. I do believe Quasi used the bandit outfits in the prototype as a reference for the ninja outfit for the PlayStation. Windmills. Not much I can really say about windmills. Yeah, they exist in both the countryside and the dark side maps, but I definitely prefer the windows in the prototype version. Look how blocky the windmills are, and they're so much bigger than the windmills we have in the map today. Original countryside map. The second prototype version of the map where it was just like a blueprint to today's countryside. It was a lot more simple and a lot less textured, and the stairs were just one gray block. Of course this was just a prototype, so I wasn't expecting good graphics, but it's cool to learn how this map first started and what it will eventually come to be. Sunnyside Horde mode. This was actually a glitch back in the day. If you use both the controller and the mouse to have Horde mode turn on and Sunnyside firing range at the same time. You had the ability to play Horde mode on Sunnyside. This was later patched by Quasi, however, it was kind of weird how the glitch was played out since the zombies only had one spawn point. Sunnyside with a night sky actually looks pretty cool too. Quasi Jam 8. I assume this was a game jam hosted by Quasi to introduce everyone to his prototype of shotgun farmers. He would stream the prototype with his chat, and they got to play the game with him. Not much else can be said here except Quasi just named the game jam after himself. Halo inspiration. So Quasi has told me he got inspiration for shotgun farmers from the Halo franchise. Chicken Run is very similar to Oddball, and Capture the Pig was just like Capture the Flag. It also explains why the farmer announcer is very similar to the Halo announcer. Quasi had a lot of inspiration from other games as well. He got inspiration from Chicken Hunt from Dead by Daylight. The ragdoll physics came from Team Fortress 2, Half-Life, or Gary's mod. So many great ideas from many other games took part in making Shotgun Farmers, and Halo was a big one. Xplodin launcher. This was an unused weapon in the game. The 3D model looks 100% complete in the screenshot, but it doesn't seem the gun was ever finished. I guess the gun would have worked just like a Granada launcher we have right now in the game. I assumed why this was never released was because Quasi didn't know what the weapon would do or how it would become different from the Granada launcher, so ultimately, this weapon never saw the light of day. Original shotgun plant. In the prototype, there was the original design of the shotgun plant. It was a giant plant that grew a real shotgun at the top of the plant. Why this was designed was Quasi at the time didn't know what a gun plant would look like. He'd later changed this to corn on the cob, as this idea seemed to make a lot more sense than just planting a real gun in the ground. Baby Bok. Baby Bok would have been the chick version of the Bok Bok. It was a concept that the developers were thinking about adding to the game. We only have concept art of Baby Bok. I'm not sure why Baby Bok was cut, but it's possible that the idea could resurface again when the pets eventually get released. But I don't know for sure about that, it's just a guess. Data transfer. The idea of data transfer is you can transfer your data from one console to another. You can get access to all the console exclusive skins. This idea never went through, probably because this would have been too complicated for the devs to figure out. If this does become a thing eventually, this means that players do have access to almost every single outfit in the game. Shotgun Farmers pre-alpha build. There isn't too much information about Shotgun Farmers pre-alpha, however Quasi did send me an unlisted video featuring footage of the pre-alpha. This is the earliest version of what Shotgun Farmers could potentially look like in the future. The farmers got redesigned from the prototype and they changed them to limbless characters wielding guns. Customization wasn't even a thing back then, so everyone looked the same. Countryside even got a nice improvement with the textures, and it looked like Quasi added more stuff to the map like cars, trucks, ladders, and other houses. From here the map along with the rest of the game would keep changing to what it would look like today. Farmers versus rabbits. This was Quasi's original idea for Shotgun Farmers. The idea was that rabbits would be stealing crops from the farmers and the farmers would have to shoot and kill the rabbits. Quasi scrapped this idea because he wanted the rabbits to somehow fight back as well, so he changed them into bandits in the second prototype. He didn't like the bandit idea either because bandits on a farm do seem like they're out of place, so this was finally changed to farmers versus farmers. This original idea was probably the biggest reason why there are so many rabbits in the game. Mountainside. This was an unused map that the developers were thinking of adding to the game. However, to this one screenshot, it is shown that this map was never finished. I guess the map would have been just people hiding in different houses while you can use mountain rocks as cover. I have no idea why this map was scrapped, and it's a shame. Quasi may have a reason for scrapping this map altogether, but to me it's not too clear. Shotgun was gold. So in the pre-alpha build, the shotgun was gold. I would assume this was gold because it represents corn on the cob. This was eventually changed to look a lot more like corn on the cob mixed with a shotgun instead of making it gold. We do have a similar looking skin that looks like the original shotgun today. Bananarang. This was an unused grenade in the game. Like the Xplodin launcher, this looks like 100% complete, however Quasi decided to scrap this idea. Possibly because he didn't know how to program the boomerang to come back, or even if it did, how many times could someone throw it, and how much damage would it be? I guess it would be an extremely overpowered weapon, so I guess it would do more harm for the game than good. Spawn stations. Back in the pre-alpha, farmers on each team would spawn in spawn stations. There was a red one and a blue one. It looked like what Overwatch and Team Fortress 2 was trying to do for their games. Quasi probably decided to remove the spawn stations because it would have just given the farmers more free roam and be more independent, I guess. Farmer death sounds. In the pre-alpha, as well as the voice effects for jumping, farmers would have death sounds. Some sound like they are in agony, while others are just quick and painless and get to the point. When they die, it actually sounds hilarious. I wish they could have kept this in the game. Like the jump voices, this was removed because Quasi didn't like how the farmers could talk, so they would rather just have them be silent.
Oh, so close!
And finally, unused gravestones. This is another unused item in the game, and one of the most obscure when it comes to unreleased Shotgun Farmers content. This would have been if a farmer killed another farmer and that farmer would have shot or attacked his or her dead body. The dead body would despawn and a grave would be put in its place. I believe this was cut because Quasi thought this was a bit excessive or a bit of overkill when you kill a player when he already is dead. It seems like people would have loved this idea, but unfortunately it did not make it into the final game. The only thing for us to remember of this screenshot is a rest in peace gravestone. So, it looks like we've reached the end of the Shotgun Farmers Iceberg, and honestly, this video was a lot of fun to research. I want to thank Quasi and the rest of the development team for helping me put together this iceberg and tell me, facts that almost nobody knows about the game. Even I didn't know before making this video. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see my other Shotgun Farmers content, I'll post a link in the outro. This game is a ton of fun. I really hope it gets the attention it deserves. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you all next time.